Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the K-Man for Peace show, and welcome back, I want to say. Today we have somebody that has been doing the studies of genealogical ancestry, and her name is Miss Winborn. I'd like to have you welcome her today. Where are you from, Miss Winborn?
I'm from Ann Arbor. I was born and raised in Ann Arbor, 1950.
What is your background in this field, and when did you decide to embark in the field or this journey?
I have an undergrad degree in education from Eastern Michigan University, and I have a master's degree in social work from U of M.
So where do you offer your services, if you do still offer them at all?
I am the president of Fred Hart Williams Genealogical Society, and it's a society anybody can join. And we did have, Cheryl Garnett and I had a Washtenaw African American Genealogical Society that operated for 13 years and through the Ypsilanti District Library, but we're no longer operating.
So my next question is, in your family history, what inspired you to continue this work, and tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I was born in Ann Arbor. We had 6 children. I was never hungry because my father had a garden across the street. Everybody in my community ate. I lived in a nice house in Carytown. I wore nice clothes. And so we all went to college. All 6 of us went to college. And I came home from graduate school and dropped my books on the porch. My dad was watching my child, and my mother watched while I went to school, worked and went to school. And my dad was helping me pick up the books, and he looked at me and he says, "I wonder if they could teach an old man like me how to read."
Oh, wow.
I said, my father couldn't read, had 6 kids. Both my parents were sharecroppers in the South, from Brownsville, Tennessee.
Okay.
There are a lot of people in here in Ypsi that are from Tennessee.
Okay.
And then I found out that I was connected to families in Ypsilanti, and then found out that how they tell us in school that there were no black folks in the Revolutionary War. My family was.
Wow. Tell me
were,
something about that.
Yeah, they were in Nova Scotia.
Ooh.
And Nova Scotia was where they were black loyalists.
Okay.
And what they did was they fought with the British against the United States.
Okay.
I had never heard of them.
Wow.
Never heard of them.
Okay.
And their journey. And it's based on a mini-series called The Book of Negroes. I
Okay.
thought that was fake. I watched it and thought it was fake.
Mhm.
But actually my family members' names are mentioned in that book.
Now, you mentioned Benjamin Banneker. Tell me something about that. Tell us something about that.
So all of my baby sister is an artist.
Okay.
Beautiful artist. She even taught art and retired. All of the grandkids, all of us who have grandkids, draw.
Okay.
And then I found out, wow, these kids can draw. What's the makeup? And I found out that we're descended from Benjamin Banneker. That's one of my ancestors. My DNA matched Jamila Banneker, his sister,
Okay.
and my first cousin, matched Benjamin.
Okay.
So, yep, so it's one of my ancestors.
So now, what exciting news did you find out once you found out the lineage and the with Benjamin Banneker? Did it lead you on another kind of journey?
Absolutely. It's just been, I did all the paperwork, because it's paperwork that comes before, and then I took a DNA test.
Okay.
And then after the DNA test, I have been friends with this person for 40 years.
Wow.
She had a wonderful history in Canada.
Okay.
And I would go to Canada with her 20 of those 40 years that we've been friendship.
Okay.
And she told this wonderful story about her family. And then after the DNA test came, found out we were cousins. And so
Okay.
we were able to hook up her history with mine.
Okay.
And then we found other people that we connected with.
So now when you say Canada, because I remember in history class as a youth learning about the slave trade and some of the people that ran away to escape, some of them escaped to Canada. Can you talk about what you guys discovered in studying genealogical ancestry, how that helped form your experience in your endeavors in teaching others in the Fred Hart Society?
Mm-hmm. Well, I learned I learned from doing my genealogy, and also Ypsilanti has wonderful history.
Okay.
Ann Arbor, Ypsi, Detroit are the last three stops on the Underground Railroad.
Okay.
My family traveled on the Underground Railroad from Tennessee to, my family had been in Michigan, I didn't know that, since the early 1800s.
Wow.
And so I was really surprised to find that out. And they had traveled, some of them on the Underground Railroad. Most of the people who live in Ypsi have Canadian connections.
Okay.
And they don't know that. You know, like family members, you know, other people that I'm related to in Ypsi have family members that traveled on the Underground Railroad to Canada.
Okay. So now, in finding that out, so far, what has that, as far as you finding out your own history, how has that evolved into the experience of others coming in and joining you all in finding out their history? What kind of other organizations have come up because of what you've done?
Well, I've spoken several times at the Michigan Historical Society. But what I've done a long time ago, when I first started this, I've been doing it over 30 years. I started the old-fashioned way with the microfilm in the microfilm rooms. I know I looked at so much microfilm, it made me seasick.
Okay.
And so now it's so much easier
Mhm.
because you have the computers,
Mhm.
you have Ancestry.com, you have there's so many other things that will quickly help you connect with your ancestors.
Okay. Now, I went and explored the census at one point and found my great-great-grandfather and found that he was the first black barber in Detroit. But I couldn't read some of the writing because some of it was kind of faded out a bit. For somebody looking through that, what advice would you give when you're looking at that, and how do you take that and apply it to coming to your organization and saying, this is what I found, how can you help me go further with this, other than oral?
That's your first foundation.
Okay.
Your first foundation is to start with the census. The most recent is 1950.
Okay.
And like I said, I was born in 1950. I'm not in the 1950 census.
Okay.
Why? Because my birthday's in June, the census stopped in April.
Okay.
Then you go all the way to 1870. That's the first census where African American people are listed by name and family members. After that, it becomes a puzzle.
Okay.
Because after that, you're tick marks. After that, you are with the cattle, and you'll have to look in wills, and you have to look in other places to find your ancestors. But you start with the census. That's your basic and your foundation.
Okay.
And then 1870, then it becomes a different kind of research.
Would insurance companies in that time have that kind of information as well, if we wanted to kind of match some things up, like when the ship arrived? And even though when I watched the Lewis Gates film, Rivers Crossing, I think it's another part of the title I'm missing right now, but I love that show when they brought the stars in and broke it down. What from that point would I be able to gather my research?
Okay, you're doing like this, but you need to start like this. You
Okay.
start with yourself, and you work back till you get there.
Okay.
And it is true, there was insurance companies that had enslaved people. This will get you. The British ended slavery early in the 1830s. Okay, so they had to pay the people that purchased slaves because they lost money. Do you know when that bill came due?
No.
2015.
Wow, that's a long time.
So there were insurance companies like Lords of London and different insurance companies that insured slaves. So that is true.
Okay.
But you're not going to look there. You're going to start here first and then work your way back.
Okay, and thank you for that, because I asked because one day Charles and I were watching an old war movie, and one of the characters in the story said he wanted his reporter freed, but they had enslaved him over, I think it was Normandy or something. I can't remember exactly. I have to go back and research that. But he says, well, I'll give you the information, but you have to go to New York and give me those names of the people we have here right now that are insured under New York Life. And he wouldn't do it because he's like, no, I'm not giving that to you, because that was like millions of dollars. So when you think about those kinds of things, and when watching these movies, how can we take and depict and get some of that information and take and be able to research it in real time for ourselves? Because I know you did say you had another organization that you and another person started. How can we take that when we even start from where you just said, and where can we run with that to get the rest?
Again, I wouldn't start there.
Okay.
Start with yourself again,
Okay.
and then work back as you go, because the census are done every 10 years.
Okay.
Every 10 years tells a story.
Okay.
For instance, every 10 years tells a different story.
Okay.
The 1900 census will tell you their birth date, the month they were born, the number of children that they had, the number of children that are living, and also the 1930 census will tell you if the people had a radio.
Okay.
That's important because that says that they had money.
Okay.
Okay, it'd be almost like, does your family have a computer?
Okay.
Okay, and then, so each census tells a different story.
Okay.
And so that's where you work, and you do a timeline. And then you don't start with the slavery and try to go forward, but you start and you work back.
Okay.
Like a puzzle.
Okay. I had a curious question. My aunt had a sister they couldn't find. And so we've been looking and looking, and so I came up with this bright idea, go to the adoption societies and find out, because she was taken from the house during one of those incidents where the men weren't allowed to be in the home. Some family members got into it, that child was taken out. So I discovered it's an adoption agency that's still in Detroit called the Black Children Adoption Agency. Have you found that maybe some of those restrictions to information have lifted since those times to now?
Yes, some of them have, but the best source is a DNA test.
Okay.
So take the DNA test, and then you'll be able to sort out where your aunt is or a close relative. Yeah.
Yeah, I found that when we did do it, there was this big old spider web of connections where everybody that took the test, they're on this registry, but you have to continue to pay for the membership for the registry to keep that contact open. For people out there that don't know, how would you guide them to getting to that point and getting that information? Where would they go find, and what ancestry name would they be able to look up to purchase it?
The first thing I'll say to people is, get a library card and go to the library. Ancestry is available at the library.
Okay.
It's your tax dollars pays for that.
Oh, wow.
And there's MyHeritage that is available through the library. If you have a library card, you can get on it from home.
I have a library card.
Yeah, you can get on it from home. There's so many resources
Okay.
that are at the library. Then there's also Family Search, put on by the Mormon Church, which is free. You can get that from home.
Okay.
All those things have valuable information.
They do. Now, you know what I did discover about the library this was a couple of years back, that very thing you're talking about, they do it free, but you can only do the search at the library on their computers.
Right.
That's what I did find out. So
Yeah.
that was very pertinent information that I really appreciate.
So, but MyHeritage is almost the same as Ancestry, not quite as good. Ancestry has the biggest database, but you can get on from home with a library card.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the Ancestry, I found out they have the My Clan portion of it, so they can go back and trace you to your actual tribe. Do you find that worthy of utilizing?
What?
I was seeing this commercial that keeps popping up, and they're saying their Ancestry DNA swab is better because it traces you all the way back to the tribe that you came from whatever country your genealogical makeup is.
Oh, okay.
Is that good?
I just got a kid from them.
Okay.
And I turned my kid in, and they told me I had to take another one, so I really can't comment on that.
Okay.
I don't know
Okay.
about it, but I know which one you're talking about.
Okay.
But yeah.
Because I'm interested in that, and I want to
Yes.
try it. So, Miss Winborn, this has been so wonderful. It's been great talking to you about history, about how to find out about your history. And if you all want to know anything more, go to your local library, as Miss Winborn suggested, and start there. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate you coming to talk to the audience, and I really appreciate you. I don't want to
Thank you for
shake your hand.
having me.
I want a hug. I really appreciate this.
Yeah.
And look up your local area and find out where you can get anything low cost or no cost for your search. This is K-Man for Peace, and this has been Miss Winborn here. Go look up that movie, and you all have a peaceful day. K-Man for Peace out.